Do you think a narcissist is ever sorry, or do they ever feel guilty for what they have done to you? The answer is no. And I'm going to go through that in this video, and you're going to want to watch all the way to the end. Welcome back, warriors. I'm Rebecca Zung. And if you've ever felt silenced, oppressed, weighed down by someone in your life, then you are in the right place. I have been recognized globally as a narcissist negotiation expert. I'm also a high conflict communication expert, been recognized by US News as a best lawyer in America. And I have dedicated this whole channel to helping you take back your power, your strength, your hope, so that you can become the best version of yourself. And together we are creating a community, empowering, so that you can become resilient against those forces that push us down. And if you haven't subscribed here yet, go ahead and do that now. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you never miss out on the tools and the insights to help you rise above. All right. So we're delving deep and diving deep today into narcissists are never sorry, and they don't feel guilt for what they have done to you, even though they might say they're sorry. They might say they feel guilty. But let's go into this. I mean, are they really truly sorry? And why don't they feel guilty for the harm that they inflict? This could be one of the most perplexing and frankly heartbreaking realizations. But you have to understand what's going on inside that narcissist's mind. You have to know that their primary goal is to uphold their inflated image. It's this facade that's going on outside here. And any acknowledgement of guilt or remorse threatens that image, threatens that protective layer, that facade that they very painstakingly are trying to take care of. It's that protective shield that they're building around themselves and deflecting any blame or responsibility, because they don't want you to know what's going on inside of here, which is this scared little ego that is going on, this shame that's happening inside of here. So all that's going on outside of here is to protect what's really happening inside of here. And so that's what's happening here. And so anytime they might say sorry, it's what I call a faux apology. It's really just to manipulate. So, they might say sorry sometimes, but it's really just to manipulate the situation to get something that they want at that particular time. It's not because they're actually sorry in that moment. The second thing is that they're driven by their need for external validation, this constant desire for admiration and approval outweighs any internal reflection on their actions. Even if they say they're I thought about it and I am thinking, all of that is just a manipulation to get you to stay, to get you to stop doing what you're doing at that point. Any thought of admitting guilt it just doesn't fit with their quest for this need for an endless amount of supply to fill this black hole that's inside of them, and it just won't ever be filled. I mean, the only narcissists that I've ever heard of that can be healed like that are ones that end up like just completely hitting bottom, and it's pretty rare, unfortunately. So I mean, it's very sad. And, if you agree with me, put "so sad" in the comments right now, because it is pretty sad. But, you can't change them. It's hard enough to change yourself, but you can't change them. Instead of trying to focus on changing them, focus on changing yourself. Focus on changing the person that you can do something about. You can't change it and you can't cure it. right? It's like the three C's. The next thing is they have a complete lack of empathy. I mean, one of the hallmarks of narcissism is that lack of empathy. And without empathy, there is no emotional connection to the pain, to the understanding of the emotional wrath, the emotional suffering, the emotional wreckage that they are causing, that pain and suffering that they're causing. And that disconnect allows them to act without considering the emotional fallout. They're not going to feel guilty about that. They don't even remember about that. I mean, if you try to bring it up, why are you bringing stuff up from, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but yet they'll bring up things from 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I mean, it's such a double standard, right? And so why are you living in this craziness, this toxic stew? It's never going to serve you. Your needs are never going to be met. That's the thing that you need to remember. So it's always going to be self-serving for them. And if you are dealing with this, you're going to need a support system. So join my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. I have a sponsor here. If you don't have access to therapy, which is BetterHelp, so you can go to betterhelp.com/Rebecca Zung. We receive commissions on that. It doesn't cost you any extra. We just want you to have access to help and support that you can trust. So the next thing is deflection and gaslighting. If you ever heard the phrase, it's not me, it's you, it's the narcissist mantra, by deflecting blame. I always say projection and deflection, lying and denying. That's like their whole mantra all the time, because they're constantly trying to make sure that nothing ever touches them. They cannot constantly make sure, that's why they're never sorry. And they're constantly not feeling guilt about what they did to you, because they cannot confront their actions or feeling of guilt, because they're constantly gaslighting. They're constantly avoiding that. So they're pushing it off on other people, because they cannot take responsibility for their actions. So no, they don't feel guilty. No, they're not sorry. And so how do you respond? It's crucial that you not try to seek validation from them. I always say, forget about closure. Forget about trying to get them to see your side. Forget about trying to get them to acknowledge that, that you did anything for them, because they're not going to do it. They're just going to make them mad. If you try to get them to meet your needs, it's just going to make them mad. It just further empowers them. You just need to work on yourself, work on your healing. Anytime you try to get them to meet your needs, it triggers them. That triggers them. Work on doing what you need to do to heal yourself. It's never going to be healing for you, right? So warriors, remember that. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you like it, make sure you share it, make sure that so that other people can get access to this too. And while that narcissist in your life may never show that genuine remorse, that genuine guilt, it's not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of your self-worth. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. It has to do with them, because it's about their need for endless amounts of supply. It's their problem. Ultimately, they will self-destruct. They will have a problem. And so the next video I want you to watch is how narcissists ultimately self-destruct, because they will ultimately self-destruct. But before we go over there, I want you to make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell, because if this message resonates with you, when you think that, it empowers you, we are building a community here of people who are supporting each other, who are helping each other, who are uplifting each other, who are no longer allowing people to belittle each other, to make each other feel crazy, to make each other allow each other to be alone. So I'll see you in that next video, how narcissists ultimately self-destruct. I'm Rebecca Zung. Remember, until next time, stand tall, strong, be confident, and always remember to negotiate your path with courage, confidence, and conviction. Today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. They only win if you give in, and I will see you in that next video.